Metropol Television, and most definitely Business you are watching us from the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi. All right, now let's talk about what the COVID-19 pandemic has done to businesses in the country. Just a couple of numbers that we're throwing here and there. Now, we do know that up to now, we do expect that we have lost around 700,000 informal jobs. Good. When it comes to the formal jobs, the last statistic that we do have from KNBS did show us that we are running within 136,000 formal jobs that have been lost, but we do expect that once we have an update of that number, because the CBK also did tell us that smaller businesses that were flourishing before the COVID-19 pandemic might never come back, because the major reason is their business model was caught by surprise. Which therefore begs the question, if everybody is talking about the businesses that are surviving being the ones that moved quickly from the areas the COVID-19 pandemic was attacking, what is the shift that we're talking about? Where did they move to? You'll be told they went online. But then, should you decide today as well, as an organization, as a business, that you want to move online, question is, what do you need? That's the money question. All right, to help us understand that, we have a technocrat in that area who understands from page 1 to page last of that book. We don't have Limo Sadala in the studio today. Morning. The CEO, Blue Consulting Limited. How are you doing, Limo?
Morning, Simba. Thank you for having me on.
Anytime,
appreciate it.
All right.
Yes.
Let's attack this conversation from this perspective. That you have to move online, fine. Yeah. Most businesses have realized that you are moving online. Yeah. But is that it? Or are we going to talk about coming back again post-COVID-19 pandemic?
Very good question. So a lot of people say, you don't have to move online. What does that actually mean? And I think for the viewers, we need to clarify the moving online is not just having a website. It's not just having a social media presence. It's more than that, right?
Yes.
So when you tell all your employees, go home and we'll buy you Zoom meetings and, we'll talk to you on Zoom and know everything you're doing. What does that actually mean? So going online is not just having Zoom. Yes. You need to give them the tools. You as a manager, you have 10 salespeople, they've gone out, they're working from home, or customer service teams. How do you know how many requests, how many inquiries that came in have been handled? How do you monitor all that? That cannot be done on Zoom.
Yes.
So for sure, you need to give them the right tools to know that all the inquiries, everything is going on according to the SLAs that the company has set up.
Yes.
So giving them all the tools, and first of all, they're working remotely, and you need to ensure, first of all, that they have access to the internet, right? Because you need to be calling on Zoom. You need to have calling them, and they need to be able to follow up on everything and access the systems online.
Yes, pretty much. I want us to come to that gist of the conversation, because I do understand what we're talking about when you say that is proper customer relational management systems. Just before we get there, Limo, would you say therefore that when you consult around, you find that probably the biggest challenge that businesses in the country have is the penetration of the internet? And would you say that is the major challenge for even smaller businesses who pretty much want to stay online, that will tell you that we are a bit coy moving online because we do know internet penetration in the country is a bit limited?
So I'll actually beg to differ, because I think as a country we're doing very well I'm not comparing ourselves to America and Europe, compared to African countries. You've been to other African countries, even countries which are richer than ours, but the government has rolled out the fiber to every county. They have the fiber backbone, and KPLC is also rolling out the fiber. So I don't think there's a county as of today, I'll be wrong, maybe 1 or 2 counties that don't have fiber. I'm not saying internet, but just connectivity to fiber. So as a company, you need to prioritize that. I'm paying electricity, I'm paying rent. I need to make sure internet is something I make sure I have as well. It should be a priority, right?
Yes.
You need to be online. I don't think in 2020 a company can say they don't have money to buy bundles. There's a lot of 3, 4, 5 telcos that sell bundles and get fiber to your car. You should see it as a priority. Number 2, the way we're forcing all employees to work from home, most companies are doing that. You need to ensure you give them allowances for internet as well. As I said, they need to be online, they need to work on follow-up requests, do everything on CRM, on email, on whatever, on Zoom, you need to also give them allowances to log on. So I think as a government, I want to say it's not as bad as other African countries. We are doing better than our competitors, other countries, I would say. Yeah, it's not as bad.
Good. So somebody also looks at exactly how you're approaching that, and you're saying, wow, there's another statistic that we're looking at every day. 62% of the Kenyan population is supplied with a mobile phone.
Right.
Would you say that therefore probably that's an area where somebody would look and say, well, maybe my CRM or my being online would be targeting this population that has mobile phones?
Absolutely. So yeah, so we need to take away this mentality as all companies in Kenya to thinking the only way you'll get business is somebody walking into your shop and buying your things.
Yes.
Look at what's happening in down the street in River Road and those areas. The business has gone down, right? Because no one actually, these days, no one goes to your shop physically.
Yes.
People go on Jumia and buy things, right? So as a company, you need to have that strategy. 5-year strategy is, how do I transition? Do I need to sell somebody on a brick and mortar? Like, I have to come to your office and if I have a follow-up request that I lost my policy card, I need to come to your office and physically meet somebody to get a policy card. Can I do that online?
Yes.
Can I go on your website and just log a complaint and get a card replacement online? And how do I target? As you said, 62% of people are online, right? And especially the younger generation, right? Anyone below 35, 30, 20 years, I guarantee you, whether they're living in Kisumu or Mombasa, they are online, right?
Yes.
So how do I target those people? And I think we'll discuss that shortly about targeting and marketing to these people.
Yes.
But yeah, if you don't have a strategy to move online, this is having a big office. It's good and nice, but we've seen due to COVID, we can operate from anywhere, right? You don't need to be physically in the office. So yeah.
Let's therefore talk about it. So a company is listening to you today, Limo, and they're saying, wow, we need to go online.
Yeah.
And so the main reason as why we're going online is just to get our customer. All right?
Yeah.
So what to you now, how does a company go about identifying the best CRM they should use when they make this journey to go online?
Absolutely. So my analysis of the market, I've been here for 5 years preaching CRM basically every day. And I think we have around 300,000 companies registered according to the database.
Yes.
And I would tell you categorically that less than 1% of companies have CRM. Less than 300. I think we're talking 100 to 200 companies.
That is worrying, isn't it?
It's worrying. So where we are as a journey, when I compare the Kenyan market and the South African market, which I've had interactions with, they're in a different level. So I would say level 1 is just getting the basics. Have a website, have social media page, have LinkedIn pages, do all that. Level 2 is have a financial system. You need that, right? The ERPs, your accounting, your financials, making sure the money is accounted for. But then once you've done that, the level 3 is getting a system to manage your customers, which companies are not doing that. Let me ask you right now, Simba, on your phone, the last 5 messages you've got, how many of them are relevant? Or we have offer 20% if you come, like, let's say you bought something 5 years ago and you're still getting messages. Isn't that true?
Yes.
Like, do you see that? So companies have not gotten to that point where they're using data in CRM to make decisions, identify who's the best leader in your business in terms of sales, in terms of customer service. A query has come in about a particular issue, we need to answer that in 30 minutes. All that is not there yet. So as an economy, as a country, I'd say we are just scratching the surface in terms of systems, in terms of CRM.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now,
so how do you do that?
Yes. So businesses want to move online. So how do you do that now?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first thing is identify that there's a problem. Because this is the problem. A lot of companies, you make $1 billion shillings this year and you're like, oh, we've been doing this for the last 50 years. Why do we need a system, right? What if I told you can actually double that or make 30% more? Like companies that go from Excel to CRM, they make at least 30% more. And that is across the world, that is documented. And we, can share that later on. But yeah, so identify that you have a problem, and I've noticed over the last 5 years, companies in Kenya in general, not pointing fingers, but you identify your best salespeople. How do you know your best salespeople? By just measuring how much money they brought in. Simba brought in 30 million this month. Congratulations.
Sales, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all. But no one is asking you,
how did you do it?
How did you do it? how many did you lose? The people you lost, which company they go to? Is it an issue of price? How many inquiries came in and you forgot to reply to them? All that data in between the start to the finish is not there.
Yes.
So identify that there's a problem. Once you identify that, all right, I don't have any data about my sales, my salespeople, my effectiveness, my productivity. I don't know any of that, right? And especially now in COVID, people are working from home. How do you know that they're productive 8 hours a day, right? So once you identify that, it's just to call us. Not particularly me, anybody, any CRM company.
I will talk about why they need to call you shortly.
But you come for a free consultation. We just understand your business process and we identify gaps and we tell you, okay, here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you're not doing at the moment, and this is how we'll help you to change that. And we do presentations and we show you exactly how it will affect your business.
Fantastic. All right, now Limo, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Price vis-a-vis efficiency.
Yes.
Why is the balance when the Kenyan market tunajua? Price has got a factor, man.
Yeah.
All right, and I know you run into those issues. Now talk to me also now. I just want you to attach that to the open source CRMs that are existing in the market now, and I've seen a lot since COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe. How do you go about that? Because somebody's going to ask you, there's a free one here. I can plug in. Why are you telling me about price here? There's a free one here. I just need to plug in and I'm okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So for the sake of the viewers, I sell Salesforce CRM, which is the leader in CRM globally. And there's that perception because it's the best, it's the most expensive. But that's not true. So the CRM that we sell is per user, right? So if you have 2 users, you pay for 2 users. If you have 100 users, you pay for 100 users. Then number 2, we have segmented the CRM into small business, medium business, and the big business. So you can get a CRM as little as $25 a user. So it really, but the features that you get for small CRM are not the features you'll get for a big company, for example. So we segment. So in terms of price, I'll reverse the question. And normally when we do presentations, I don't actually tell you price until the last minute because I want to show you what you can get, and also what are you not getting by not having a CRM. Like I'll ask you right now, if you're a CEO of a company and I ask you, how many people came to your website and inquired about a product and actually never went through to purchase? Nobody has that answer because you don't have a CRM, right? So you are also losing business, right? As I said, you'll get at least 30% more in terms of revenue by just having a CRM.
Yes.
Now, in terms of which CRM and your price, as I said, it's variable. But again, if you can buy a car for 100,000, you can buy a car for 10 million shillings, right? Would you go? I don't know. That's because, but you get value for money, right? All I'll say is those free CRMs are not as customizable as world leaders, in terms of CRM. If you want a CRM that has, marketing automation, customer service automation, sales automation, and all business processes in one, you get value for that. If you're buying a CRM that you want to build and hire developers and build it for the next 2 years to fit your business need, that's well and good. But if you want to get up and running in 3 months or 2 weeks, you go with the best. And of course, just to throw in one more thing, Salesforce is it's ranked the best CRM, the most innovative company. This is ahead of Tesla, this is ahead of Google, ahead of Apple. It's not just in CRM space because it's very innovative. You get new features every 3 months for free upgrades every year. So you pay for value. That's what I would say.
All right, so somebody's going to ask you, Limo, we are all talking about this because of sales and the customer. In your own words, what is the best CRM when it comes to a customer? What does a customer want to see when I interact with a CRM?
Right. So that's a very interesting point because in my analysis of this market, we as companies, we take customers for granted. We don't. I'll just name drop and say, there's a certain company that sells electricity. When you call the call center number, and it drops, you have to say your plot number, where you live and all that, and call drops and you have to call back and explain all that. That's one example. Then you have other companies you call and they say, hey, Mr. Simba, I saw yesterday you called about this issue. Was it resolved? Are you happy? How can I help you today? Like, that's a very difference in dynamics, right? Because
Yes.
the difference is the systems that run behind that.
Yes.
You need to empower your salespeople and your customer service agents. I'll say this. I, as a customer, when I call your company, I don't care if you're Simba or if you're Paul or you're Peter. I'm calling your company. I expect Peter to know what the issue was yesterday, right? Or a certain quote that was sent, I've not got a reply. So everybody in your company needs to have that data about that particular customer, putting that customer in the middle of all your operations.
Yes.
And making them feel valued. So that's what a CRM would bring to your company. That does so. And part of this, as I said, as companies in Kenya, we've not gotten to a point where somebody will leave your company because of bad customer service. We'll still come back and buy tomorrow.
Yes.
And companies know that. And until that changes, where customers demand more from companies, there's no reason to have data about you. There's no reason to know that you are not happy, you're not dissatisfied, you are dissatisfied, and you need better services.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what CRM brings. It brings that data to everybody in the company, from the CEO to the last person. Yeah, because I know this happens a lot. People call the CEO and say, hey, because you know the CEO on a personal level, where's my issue at? I filed a claim last week, and that CEO has to go walk to a certain floor and ask somebody, right?
Yes.
Yeah, instead of just going on his phone and, yeah, I see your issue here, it's with this person. You'll get an email in the next 1 minute, and he just types on his phone and a request goes out.
Yes.
That's the power the CRM can bring. That is not there at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now, let me talk about Blue Consulting, just to understand, therefore, where we are in terms of your approach to the Kenyan market. Now, in 2019, you won an award for Best CRM Company, and they said that your service is quite efficient. Good. What has been your approach to penetrating the Kenyan market?
Thank you. So I'll say two things. One is the team, wonderful team. We've made a commitment to hire locally.
Yes.
And we hire straight from local universities.
Yes.
And just giving everyone an opportunity to come in, they do an internship, and then training them on CRM and the technology. And then we give them actual client facing. They do actual work with the client. You don't stay back there because you're a junior or intern, right? So, and the company culture. So in terms of the people, we're very young, agile. I think everyone in my company is, very young.
Yes.
I think I'm probably the oldest person in the company. So there's that. We have a very young, agile, with a dedicated team. But then the other thing is, we came in 5 years ago, and we're bringing this world-class product that wasn't there. So Blue Consulting is the first partner of Salesforce. Oracle, Microsoft, all these other players have been in the market for years, and so Salesforce is new. When we came in, I thought I'll just bring it and start selling. But then, you're right. We realized very fast that it can't work. You can't sell the way you sell in Europe.
Isn't it? Especially with the percentages you were talking about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we had to customize. We had to change the approach. Number one, first of all, the pricing, make the pricing affordable for the region, and also know how Kenyans think and how Kenyans make purchasing decisions.
If somebody asks you, Limo, like, how do Kenyans think when they make purchasing decisions? I think you'll be the right person to answer that question this morning. What is this uniform factor about how Kenyans make decisions online?
So I'd say the number one thing is cost. Absolutely. It's not about value.
Yes.
I'd see in other developed countries, if I show you, you're going to make all this ROI and all this, investment and all this, and it boils down to price. And then I would say the problem with CRM is once you have it and you're using it, and I tell you, no, I'll take it off, and you'll say, no, you want it, right?
Yes.
So if there was a way I could give you, here's a new Mercedes, use it for 3 months, drive it, and then after 3 months I come and say, give me back the keys, you not want it back.
Yes.
So that's the challenge we have, right? In CRM, because we have to customize it and give you the way you want it. There's a lot of effort that goes into that. So what we realize is, okay, we've gone through 5, 6, 10, 20 companies, and they all want similar things. They all want automation of leads. They want this type of reminder. So we realized, okay, we need to package it and make it Kenyan friendly in prices. So we took all those requests from the, numerous projects we did, and we made a package where we're saying, okay, this is your company. How many people do you have? Just fill this questionnaire, and in 2 weeks you have a CRM.
Yes.
And you just use it. So that's the approach we took. We kind of just packaged it and made it friendly, pocket friendly, and number two, it gave you all the automation that you would have done if we did a 6 months project. We've taken all that and done it in 2 weeks. So that's the approach also.
Fantastic.
Took,
All right, now sales automation is going to be among those areas you expect that your clients are going to stress on most.
Oh yeah.
have you been approaching this area, and what do you want me as a buyer? Because that's the only thing the company cares mostly, is that if you give me a system, then it has to actually increase my turnover.
Right.
So have you been approaching this area for sales automation?
That's a very good question. So yeah, we actually took that further, and we're doing we're doing an app especially for manufacturing companies.
Yes,
They
yes.
have salespeople that go out on the field every day, and all these people. Do you know our biggest competitor is? It's Microsoft Excel. All these companies, big companies, they use Excel.
I like the way you say it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're building an app where, and you mentioned about internet.
Yes.
Where you'll have all the Salesforce tools, all Salesforce power on your phone, and it will have offline access. So you can go to Wajir or somewhere a remote area, and you can still do your route planning. You can do your sales execution, make orders, make purchases, all on Salesforce on the mobile phone. So we're rolling this out. It's going to be very affordable, because we're changing the model where, this is the universe of Salesforce. Let me build all these things for you let me make a specific app that works for every other company. Mm-hmm. So the amount of ROI going into, the amount of investment going into developing it is reduced, because it's the same it's repeatable and the same for every company. So that's coming out in the next 3 months as well. Yeah, that would address anyone that has a sales team that has to go around the country.
Yes.
They can get the power of CRM for, I don't say at least as little as, let's say, not a lot of money. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Fantastic. That's enough. Yeah. All right, now let's talk about the environment in which you work under. And I know, Limo, when you go into the budget year 2020, 2021, there has to be a focus for you, because the success of your business also is pretty much determined by the focus of the government.
Absolutely.
Were you happy with the ICT investment this year?
So, as I said, I think it's a very political question. So I would say, as I said, we are doing well in terms of our country, in terms of what the government is doing in ICT. But yeah, I would say not only in ICT, but as an economic environment, especially for me as CRM. CRM is not something like bread or milk that you have to purchase, right?
Yes.
So if companies are struggling, we also struggle, despite COVID, So I'm not happy in terms of the economic situation we are in as a country. I think more can be done to make businesses more liquid, access to more credit. I think credit is a big factor where I think the government has not focused enough. I think there have been some initiatives to increase liquidity into the market, but it's not enough. I think companies are struggling, and even in terms of Corona, I don't think they've really addressed the issue of companies being able to weather the storm, right? Go through it. But in terms of ICT, to your question, I think they're doing a good job. I'll stay off that question for now.
Fantastic.
That's okay.
All right. Yeah. So, Limo, in 1 minute.
Yes.
Have you seen any graph during this time of the COVID-19 pandemic that sort of will say local companies are now looking to go online?
Looking to go back?
Yes.
Yeah, so not really. I would say what we've seen is an uptake in terms of people wanting to digitize more and wanting to have systems to operate remotely. And I think, to your question, I think we need to make sure that we change our mindset from, how soon are we going back to our offices, right? To let's use this opportunity to make sure we're able to work from anywhere, because that's the power. Why should we all, let's say you're a 600 company team, all 600 of us come into an office every day for 5 days. We need to change our mindset in terms of that. So what I would say is, whether COVID is here for 3 months or 6 months or 2 years, we don't know. Until we get a vaccine, we don't know, right? So let's just change the mindset and say, you know what, this could be something with us for a long time. How can we make sure that our business continues? So unfortunately, there are businesses that will definitely suffer, businesses that need face-to-face contact. I need to see you to operate. But I would say majority of businesses can change their mindset. But to answer your question, yeah, I've seen traffic go up. I see traffic jams are back. So I think the economy is coming back slowly, but it's not there yet, obviously. But just in summary, I think we just need to change our mindset and accept that. I'll leave this message I'll summarize by saying, as bad as COVID is, the situation we have, it should not be the excuse to digitize, and we should always digitize. We should see how can I make the company run more efficiently with or without COVID. Whether it's here for 2 years or 1 year or 6 months, we need to go online and we need to have systems. Yeah.
Limo, Sadala, CEO, Blue Consulting Limited, telling you why COVID-19 should not be an excuse for you to digitize, because you do need that proper CRM for your business to be relevant in this decade. My name is Simba, Elijah Charles Kiage. This is Business AM.